So I gotta tell you something messed up. So I'm at the grocery store getting my groceries, and I'm wearing this because and a mask because I'm like, yeah, I ain't getting anybody right now. With the pandemic happening, so I'll just wear whatever the hell I want. So I'm wearing this. So a kid at the grocery store is like, "Hey, I like your shirt." And like, "Thanks, little man. I like your hat." He's got like a Pikachu hat, and then the kid's like, "You want to hear something interesting?" Like what you got? What you got? I thought he's gonna tell me like Pokemon or something, right? And then he goes, "See a smoke out there?" I'm like, yeah, because we're in California. It's like, yeah. He's like, "That's my house." I'm like, oh, and then his dad grabs him and just pulls him away, and then they're just gone. I'm like, 3 million acres burned. Welcome, everybody. California's on fire. So is Washington. I assume Oregon as well. I don't know. I have friends in Seattle, and they've just been showing pictures where it's just dark in the day because of the fires. So let me tell you about the first fire for me. 2003, 2004. I think it's 2004. Maybe 2003. I don't remember anymore. Bunch of fires down here. Bunch of them all over the place. Now, I'm like 15, maybe 16 at the time. And I'm the only one home when I wake up, which is weird, because usually my dad and my sister are there. I've lost my mom at this point. They're somewhere, but they're not in the house. They're gone. So I wake up, I look out the window. And out the window, ash. And the sky is dark, and I see orange light permeate the sky as well. Because smoky clouds and the sun, orange. That's what happens. Whatever UV light, make it just orange, that gets consumed by the sky. So it's just raining ash. I'm the only one home. Look around the house, nobody's home. I see this. I start freaking out. I'm freaking out. Like, bum, 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 bum. Because, like, did the rapture happen? Where is my family? Why is it raining ash? I go outside. There's no cars driving by. There's no one outside. I'm the only one outside. Raining ash. It's getting on me. There's ash. Just a pile of it all over the place outside. Just everything's covered in ash. And I am just freaking out. I'm like, okay, okay, the world end? Did the world, okay, are we dead? This is 2 years after 9/11, so, you're freaking out about that still. That's still making you nervous. And so it's just like, what the fudge? What's going on here? And turn on the news, like CNN. CNN's got nothing about this fire, because of course CNN's about, like, random things all over the place. And local news isn't on right now. Fire is happening. And then that, or I just don't know where the hell to find local news at this point. Because local news is reporting on it somewhere, I'm sure. And then finally, family comes home like, what the hell's going on? It's like, there's fires happening. There's fires happening all around us, and so we're just covered in ash. That happened. I still went to school, despite all this. And that was just freaky crazy. 5 years later, I'm in college. So I'm in college, and school gets shut down when the big fires happen again. At first, it was all the Asians had masks. Then everyone had masks at that point. And then it's still ash all over the place. It's amazing how well they cleaned up the campus because there was ash everywhere. Oh my god. And they cleaned it all up. Those janitors did some good work there. And it gets all cleaned up. I already said school is locked down for a week. And then back to school. Just back to normal after that. And then other fires have happened over time, and then there's the fires happening right now. And you just get used to it. This is the thing I come to realize, you just get used to things. This is the human condition, you get used to things. People who live in Tornado Alley, they just get used to that. People live in hurricane season, they just get used to that. In Arizona, you got like some dust bowl or something, they get used to that. Here in California, fires. You just get used to that. There are people whose houses burned down 2 or 3 times and they just keep rebuilding. Like, why don't you leave? It's like, well, this is all I've known. This is my home. These fires are happening more, but this is where I live. It's just crazy. It's crazy, these fires happening. And you go like, why? And the reason why is because we're in a damn desert. We're in a desert and it's getting hotter every year. Global warming isn't a thing, my ass. It's getting hotter every year. We're getting more superstorms all over the place. And so, fires. More and more fires. And because of the virus this time, we couldn't utilize our prison labor. Did you know slavery is still legal here? It's called prison labor. And so we're not utilizing our prison firefighters right now, so more fire is happening than normal, besides all the heat happening as well. So we don't have the people who fight it like we normally do. And that only gets brought up, finally, to the forefront, because of the virus. Because the virus happened, they're not all out there fighting the fire, so we're noticing that, people are noticing that, and so there's articles about it. Like, oh, did you know we've been using firefighter prisoners for, like, ever? Now you know. I knew about it a while back, but now there's more scrutiny on that. We burning. It's interesting that we're burning with so many acres as well, because the concept is, and this is something King Kamehameha is famous for saying, is that if you want rain somewhere, plant a tree. And the concept is transpiration. This is why the rainforest is rainforesty. Through transpiration, what's happening here is the rainforest is pulling the water out of the sky, well, the rain that's on it, and also out of the ground, and it's transpiring as it's getting energy and everything, and that is all going into the sky. And the sky is making rain clouds, and they rain down. So you're making the cycle going on here. That's oversimplifying a lot of stuff I just said right there. Oversimplification. You're causing this cycle of transpiration, condensation, and of course, whatever you say for rain, and all that, and that's all happening right there. That's why the rainforest is constantly raining. So you think the same concept would happen in California. The problem is, we're in a desert. That's the problem. We're in a desert. We also have droughts, so the trees don't have like a lot of groundwater to pull up to do transpiration as well. You've got the Santa Ana winds. There's a lot of factors here that are making it not work like it works in Hawaii and works down in where the rainforest is. Hopping from that to COVID. So the thing is, we get used to things. We get used to things all the time. And so we've gotten used to the virus, which is an astronomically horrible thing that we've gotten used to. We've gotten used to the virus. People are just not treating it like a real thing anymore. At least not where I am. And so, we're going to hit 200,000 deaths from the virus soon. And people are just nonchalant about that. It's really not great. And you got people who have a conspiracy go like, it's actually just 9,000 deaths, that are actually caused by the virus. All these other ones are just death by all these other things they had besides the virus. And it's like, no, shut up, no. If that's how it works, then HIV hasn't killed a damn person either. What the virus do is, it leaves you open to a bunch of things, just like HIV. HIV destroys your immune system, so you're open to anything killing your ass. This one wrecks your goddamn lungs. Your respiratory system gets wrecked by this, leaving you open to a lot of things killing you. Or things you already had killing you. That's what happens. You just don't have the defenses anymore through your lungs, and you're done. That's what the virus does. That's what coronavirus does. Well, HIV just completely kills your immune system. You can't fight anything. What it does is it activates the helper T cell, if I remember correctly. Or not the killer, I think it's the helper T. So what it does is, the key in the ignition, that's what helper T is, it breaks the ignition. You have no way to start up the immune system. That's what happens with HIV. So that sucks. Because HIV, they just get on that spot. They just grab onto that spot, and then they're making their more copies of themselves. It's really unfortunate. Coronavirus. Where was I on that? Right, okay. So we're just being nonchalant about it. I go outside in my mask. Plenty of people don't have masks. There's people who say you shouldn't be wearing a mask. It's a muzzle and this and that. They shut the hell up. And so I'm frustrated with that. And these vlogs are me venting, so I want to vent about work a little bit. So everyone at work is nice, but, everyone leans in this direction or that, whatever, politically. And what frustrates me is how politics has gotten into the virus. And wearing masks. Everyone wears a mask because that's job mandated. But there are different feelings about the masks, of course. And you just get used to the mask. Like, you just get used to it like anything else. And so it's not as much bitching as there was before. But the problem is, I have right-leaning coworkers and bosses. So they think global warming is a myth. Despite how hot it's getting, and how cold it's getting. Because the real thing is climate change. Global warming was a dumb thing to use. The hotter it's getting, the colder it's getting. The hotter it's getting, the colder it's getting. It's going back and forth. It's a pendulum shift. That is nature. The pendulum's going one way and the back. One way and back. Because it's trying to compensate. It's trying to compensate for this. It's trying to compensate for that. It's trying to compensate for this. It's trying to compensate for that. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. What we want to do is we want to slow it the hell down so it's back to normal weather. They think, oh, the planet's just getting hotter. I don't know how you can trust this bubble of the right. The Fox News, OAN, all that stuff. Trump himself. I don't know how you can trust this area with the constant lying. The constant lying. I don't know how you trust this and think you're smart for trusting this. I don't get it. I try my best to understand this area, to understand like CNN and MSNBC and all that stuff going on there, trying to understand people trying to bridge the middle. I try to understand way too much, which is why I probably stress out too much. I'm trying to learn too much. I'm trying to learn from too many places. And I don't know how the side that doesn't give a shit about the truth is taken so seriously. I don't get it. I don't know how you can be such a fan of a guy who talks out of his ass his entire life, and we all know he'd do that, and yet you trust him. I don't know how you can do that. How can you trust that over the experts? The CDC, before Trump put pressure on them. WHO, all these different places, they're trying their best to understand what's going on, but then they have political pressures pushing on them from different directions, different angles. It's amazing how Fauci still has his position, because Fauci has done his best to refute things Trump's saying without getting fired. He's like, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do those things, don't do all those things. He's trying his best to keep what he's doing without getting fired and silenced. People are like, well, Fauci was wrong at this point, so he must be wrong here. It's like, okay, buddy, okay, yeah, okay. This is how science works. You're trying to figure it out as you go. You're actively trying to figure it out. You are problem solving. Take a car. You're like, all right, this is the issue. All right, well, okay. Well, this issue, maybe it'll be over here. You try to fix this area. He's like, nope, that didn't fix it. Over here, nope, that didn't fix it. Like, you're going down the line trying to figure out what is the problem, what way to deal with this issue in a car. Same thing with a person. We're machines. We're meat machines, basically. Trying to figure out what's going on with us. How is the virus infecting us? And trying to understand that virus as well. How is the virus doing its things? And you figure it out as you go. As you figure out problems, you find new things, more information, more problems, as you try to understand the whole thing. That is science. So you're going to be wrong here and there as you're trying to get to the truth. That's how it works. And so when you find the earlier mistakes, when they're trying to figure it out and say that invalidates everything later on, you're an idiot. Because it's trying to get figured out. Science and medicine is just pawing in the dark, trying their best to figure it out, and they finally got a handle on things now. But because they said some of the wrong things back here, you can't trust them here. That is what you're saying. So then you trust journalists, more so opinion piece people, because Hannity's opinion, Tucker Carlson's opinion, they're not journalists. They're opinion guys. You trust those guys to tell you things. Are you kidding me? You trust Trump, a guy who keeps surrounding himself with yes men to the best of his ability to tell you things. Are you kidding me? The unwillingness to hear, especially from Trump, the cold hard truth. Just a lot of babying, a lot of just slowly pulling off the band-aid, a lot of just not telling the truth has put us in a stupid position. The right likes to talk a lot of shit about millennials. They're like, F your feelings and all that shit. But what is the right doing? They're massaging a lot of egos. They're massaging a lot. Let's do it this way. They're massaging a lot of egos. You know, they're doing this with a lot of egos on the right. The left happens as well. That happens there too. But it's a lot more blatant over here. That is for sure. And it's very frustrating. They act like snowflakes are only on the left side. There's plenty of snowflakes on the right. Talk shit about a sports team, you'll see them break real quick. Talk shit about cops, you'll see them break real quick. It's downright frustrating. Downright frustrating. And it's maddening. It's maddening. You're like, well, why do we care about coworker. He thinks the vaccine is worse than the virus. He keeps saying it. Like, well, the vaccine's worse than the virus. The vaccine's worse than the virus. We don't have a freaking vaccine yet. What he means is the things we're doing to deal with it is worse than the virus itself. Saying he'd rather we have unfettered dealing with the virus. He'd rather we all just get it and get herd immunity. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The problem with anti-vaxxers is when you do things right, people don't recognize that, and they think you're just full of crap for getting everyone scared. Polio, the flu, all this other crap. We have these doomsday scenarios where the science goes, oh shit, we gotta do something about this, and we freak out. And then they do something about it so it doesn't happen, it's not as bad, and then it was like, oh, well, there was nothing to worry about. It happens every single time. Every time. Like, what are we going to worry about polio? No one's got polio. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Thank God Africa now has no polio, which is great. That just happened a while back. There's a reason why vaccines work. Anti-vaxxers is proof that we have done an amazing job. That's what's frustrating. Because the better job you do, the more naysayers you get. Because, like, see, there's nothing to worry about. Because the job was done. It gets downright frustrating. I really do. And I just bite my tongue at work. Because aside from being really dumb about science and really frustrating with them when it comes to politics, they're nice people. I think humans are decent for the most part. Until they're not. I don't know. They're nice guys. I just comes to politics and science, all they do is piss me off. And I just bite my tongue because I like my job. It's a good job, pays well. I enjoy it a lot. I like what I do. I just hate talking to these guys when it comes to politics. I just have to leave. And they've recognized that by this point, I think, for the most part. And I have been hypocritical here and there. I just won't admit it. When they're like, they were blaming the protests for spreading the virus. I was like, no, it's not the damn protests. It's blame this holiday, like 4th of July and this and that. Truth of the matter is, it was both. It was the holiday and the protesters. As best as you could try to do, you're still going to spread the virus around. And that is something I should have admitted, but I just couldn't admit to it. I couldn't admit that the protesters spreading the virus. But the problem was, they were saying only the protests, not the holiday. And so that was the frustrating thing, just these coming against each other in that way. There's the protests and the holiday. And just people having these stupid parties all the time. Speaking of parties, now how frustrating it is that people did a gender reveal party to cause another one of the fires. It destroyed like 100,000 acres at one point. I don't know where it is now. I don't know if they stopped it. Stop with it. Stop with this gender reveal parties. Jesus. Just have a cake. Just have an ugly blue cake or an ugly pink cake. Just have that. Ugh, that's ugly though. Once you get a cake with that coloring, give me chocolate or white or yellow. What the hell, blue? Pink? Here's a way. It was like, hey, just get off the phone. It's a boy. We're done. There. All right. Why a party? Seriously, white people, why a party? I don't understand right now. This is a serious question here. By the way, this is the second take. You won't believe how ragey I was the first time. Oh, God. That's why I'm not sure if I said some things already. That's it for the vlog. That's it for the vlog, though. Oh, God. There is like a 5-minute rant that you're never going to see of me flipping out about the Blue Lives Matter flag. And then finding out just before that there's a Red Lives Matter flag, apparently. There's a fireman flag now. I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's subjective. It's subjective, I understand. I still don't agree, though. I think it's a desecration of the American flag. No one should have anything on the American flag. There shouldn't be a blue line in the American flag. There shouldn't be a red line in the American flag. You don't black and white everything else about the damn flag. Have your own flag. Everyone else has their own flag. What are you doing putting a blue line on the American flag? What are you doing putting a red line in the American flag? Why are you making everything else black and white? Why are you making that only your line matters? Why are you separating yourself from everyone else? Why are you highlighting that you're great and not everyone else? That is the beauty of the American flag. 50 stars, 50 states. The red and the white, we're all together. That's what that flag is. This separation and then putting yourself on top of everyone else, that is a desecration to the flag to me. Absolute desecration to the flag. It is disrespectful. I will never be okay with that flag. I'll never be okay with the red one either. I can't believe there's a red one. It's not okay with me. We do some really stupid things with the American flag, and that is one of them. So that is the vlog. That is a nicer version of me ranting about the Blue Lives Matter flag, and now a thin red line flag. Don't mess with the flag. It is a beautiful flag. I love that flag. I have cried at that flag. I am stupidly patriotic. So, and I don't give a shit about people kneeling to the flag because kneeling is still respectful. The people who don't understand the kneeling thing is really frustrating. It's like, they're kneeling because they can't stand for something when there's so much injustice in America. And that is saying, come on, we can do better. And that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing at all. It's not disrespectful to the troops in any way. Anyone who takes it that way, I don't know what your problem is, because it's certainly not understanding this flag. Your problem is cognitive. That's what it is. I'm going to stop ranting now. That's the vlog. Thanks for coming by, everybody. See you next time.